Any young woman today who is finishing high school and who wants to come into this world must come in herself as a pioneer. Not only is she entering a man's world, a world in which she must conquer in order to have a place, but she's entering a world that she must in some sense want to change.
I knew that I wanted to be a lawyer when I was 13, and I think that I chose a college based on what I thought a lawyer needed to know, which is how to debate.
When I was in high school, I was editor of the high school newspaper, and I knew that I liked to write. I knew that much, but I had no idea how that would affect itself in later life. I really thought if I go to a good college, Mount Holyoke was a good college, my parents would never yell at me again, ever.
A liberal arts college is supposed to be a community of faculty and students, and both should be learning at the same time. And the faculty here are always researching, always producing. For example, we have 3 Pulitzer Prize winners. One of them very much involved right now in freshman tutorials. The other 2 involved in freshman, sophomore, junior, senior classes. They're not off in some research center removed from students, and they're not only concentrating on graduate students. They have been here for their entire careers almost, and their Pulitzer Prizes came out of work that they did here and shared with students through the years.
I've heard so many things from friends of mine at other institutions that it's hard to get to the faculty. It's, you know, I'm afraid to talk to my professors, but here they become your friends. They become an extension of the friendships that you form in the dormitories. They're people too. You don't put them on a pedestal. They're not there to intimidate you. They're there to help you and help you to develop yourself.
What I'm saying is, what is it? What is special about Paris? It seems to me that anarchism really is total chaos. One of the many things that liberal arts education, especially at Mount Holyoke, has to do with is critical thinking, the ability to assess critically, reflectively, the world around you, your past, and one hopes your future.
Acts of violence for the anarchists are individualized, and whether you take the blame for not, they're not being committed by you.
By the same token, their leaders are anarchists.
The academics are definitely tough, and that shocked me at first when I came here. No one had ever asked me to work as hard as I'm asked to work here, but it's given me a lot of confidence in myself. I never thought I could do that, but I can, and I've found out by being tested.
I wanted to do a paper on the folk songs of Canada, and I was really afraid that I would fail. You know, folk songs, who cares about what is that history? But it turned out that I went to my professor, and he referred me to a lot of different places, and I came up with a really good collection of songs and analyzed them and put them together, and I turned out a really great paper. And in my research, it put me onto a lot of lines of inquiry that I used later on in an anthropology class the next year.
I did 4 times the amount of work in this one semester than I did in my entire high school career, and it didn't hurt. And it's done, and you feel good about it, and you learned about yourself and your capabilities. And then you learn you can do more.
Ready, and a 1, back.
Myself by accident. I'm a German English major, but I found myself in theater. And I found here that you could do anything you wanted to, just as long as you convinced everybody that it was a good thing going. There's enough room here to decide on an independent project. And that's how you find yourself. It's just saying, maybe this might be fun. Give it a whirl. Wow, it was good. Let me do it again.
The first play that I wrote that was well known was a play called Uncommon Women and Others, which is about Mount Holyoke and about my friends from there, because I found them all very moving for the reason that it wasn't that they were these unbelievable have-it-all people and they were going to go to law school and they were beautiful and they ran track, because I would keep away from such people. It was because they were very intelligent and very caring and very honest, and I always found very funny. We didn't have to be told, respect other women, your friends are intelligent. We knew that. That was a given. And then you went on from there to study whatever it was, mathematics, psychology.
Let's have crossfade. Cue number 37, please. Thank you. Mount Holyoke gives you the opportunity to be all that you can, and they'll back you up with that, and they'll believe in you. And that's what's important. Because if you go into a place and you have a dream, but there's no one there to help you with it, sometimes you can get lost in that dream and nothing comes of it. Here, at least someone's going to help you with it.
Mount Holyoke is not only a college which invests itself in the dreams of its young women, but it is a proving ground for those dreams. It is, after all, a place where you can afford to take a risk. And at Mount Holyoke, if you will dare to try, you will find those things at which you can excel.
So that I think one can make a calculation and expect that out of this transformation, with 0.2 micrograms of DNA, we're going to get, at best.
Mount Holyoke has invested a lot in the science equipment. So a student who works with me gets to use every single piece of equipment that I will use. These experiments are part of my own research, and I can talk with a lot of passion to the students. Textbook design experiments are usually too straightforward and too simple. They often work too well, and you don't get a realistic feeling that experiments can in fact fail, or the fact that experiments don't always work once you step out of the classroom.
One of the things I like best about Mount Holyoke is that there are 4 other colleges right in the area. There are thousands of students, and as much to do as in a small city. The buses are free and they go everywhere. There are a dozen movie theaters and twice as many places to hear music and go dancing. It's great.
Right from the start, when Mount Holyoke was founded, it's been training women to go out into the world, perhaps even to change the world if they can. And I've been very impressed with the internship program. Every year it sends a lot of students to go and work in government offices in Washington, in private businesses, in United Nations agencies abroad, places really around the world.
I worked at the National Institute of Health down in Bethesda, Maryland this past summer in an endocrinology lab. And I worked with a scientist who was researching cancer.
I think you learn more when you have worked in the outside world, and then when you're in a course and you learn something about the international system, you're saying to yourself, aha, I know about that, that's what I was working on. This makes sense to me, and there's a greater desire to learn about the issues they've been working on when they were interns.
We're taken very seriously here, and our work is taken very seriously. And from that, I think we gain an incredible sense of self-confidence. And we take that confidence with us out into the world. That's one thing that I hear many alums talk to me about. They say that one thing I know I got from Mount Holyoke was that ability to believe in myself and my work.
I think that everyone that was accepted by Mount Holyoke has potential to be something great. And Mount Holyoke seeks very, very hard to find that greatness within each of its students without forcing any of the students to become exactly like each other, even like the faculty member. They want you to stretch way beyond where they've been. They want you to succeed.
The entire college is determined to help women reach their own aspirations. Its career services, its curriculum, but most of all, its tradition is a tradition of women reaching beyond and achieving beyond.